down on my notes. She said, there is no shame in having these in your lap. If you want to get the good stuff out of a lesson, you need to have it in your lap. Otherwise, you're going to forget. I can't even remember the conversation I had this morning with my
sticky notes
husband,
sometimes.
right?
I'll take and do sticky notes.
Absolutely. And she said the only thing that you would read verbatim is the teaching point. And then after that, you would look at the bold, and that's what I did. I looked at the bold, made some highlights so I don't forget important things if I'm, you know, kind of spacing out as we're going, and then that's pretty much it. Okay? So I'm going to have you guys simulate this today. Are y'all ready? I don't have, I'm going to pretend to make an anchor chart just on the table, if that's okay with you.
And this is session 3?
This is session 3, correct. Yes. All right, Colleen. I'm ready for my video. Okay.
I think she's already recording.
I think so too. That's all right. That's all right. All right, guys. So we're going to pretend to be writers right now. So, guys, if you would please come down to the rug, and you're going to go ahead and bring your writer's notebook or writer's folder or journal, whatever it is you guys have the kids using. If you'll bring those down with you, you have about 10 seconds to get down to the rug. And I would count down to 0. And I would say, okay, now that we're gathered here, I want you to open up your journals. And I want you to look at all of the writing that we've done this year. And I want you to notice, we've done some personal narrative writing. We've also done some narrative writing. And I want you to look through those pieces. And I want you to share with a partner, what is it that made that narrative or personal narrative writing really, really strong? What were the characteristics of strong narrative writing? Okay? If you'll just take a minute to pair up and share.
I use words and I use describing words to help talking about. We did practice a lot on lots of different.
All right, writers, come on back. And I would literally give kids that much time. Not everyone's going to share, and that's okay. Everyone had time to think and shared some of their thoughts. They're going to get their time to practice in just a little bit. So guys, today I want to remind you of some of the things that made narrative writing so strong. You guys said that I used dialogue. I used feeling words to help my readers feel what was going on in the story. You added things like a strong lead to hook your reader and let them know what the story was going to be about. And you added really dynamic characters. And so today I want to remind you that when we're trying to write something, we think about what makes that type of writing really strong, and then we try and imitate that or put those strong characteristics into our own writing. Okay? So I'm going to have you guys in partners share today a piece, and I want you to read through it, and I want you to think about what this writer did that worked really well, and I think we'll have enough to share in partners. What did this writer do that made his writing really strong? Go ahead and read and talk with your partner.
Battering.
That can knock weapons out of Batman's hands. Batman is also special because he's very brave. He fights crazy villains like the Joker and the Penguin.
All right, guys, what are you noticing that's made this writing strong? What are some characteristics you notice?
Has transition
words.
There's some transition words in there, aren't they? And what are those transitions linking together? What is the meat of that of what's in the piece?
The reasons.
He's got reasons. He's got strong reasons for why Batman is the best of all, right? He also has a bold opinion right off the bat. He said Batman is the best superhero for many reasons. There's that bold opinion right off the bat. What else do you guys notice?
It's organized.
It's organized. And after the reasons, what kind of information does he organize together with those reasons? Does he give some examples or details? Yeah, he does. He's got examples and details that back up the reasons. And he uses he has a way to organize his writing, right? And I want you to flip to the end and read the last 2 sentences. What do you notice about the ending there?
He reflects back on his opinion.
Absolutely. The ending reminds you of what the opinion is. Absolutely. So those are the characteristics of strong opinion writing. We've got a bold opinion, we've got reasons with examples and details that back up the reasons, and an ending that reminds you of the opinion. Okay? So I want you to be thinking about that. You guys hold on to those papers for just a minute. I'm wondering if you could help me revise a kiddo's writing. This was written by a kid named Otis, and he's writing about which of these 4 or 5 dragons he likes the best. Okay? And I want to read to you, and I'll put this under the document camera, but I'm going to show you what it said, what he wrote. I like the red dragon. It is red. It has wings. It has scales. With that, partner, I want you to think about how could Otis revise this to make it even stronger, thinking about the characteristics that make for strong opinion writing. What could Otis do? Work in your partnership.
He just described the red dragon, but he didn't give reasons why the red dragon is add some
supporting
detail. Add reasons to the description.
If it's like a specific red dragon, you can maybe describe. So we can visualize it.
All right, writers, here's some of the things I noticed you guys saying. I heard many of you saying he needs some more reasons. He needs some more reasons about why he likes the red dragon the best, and probably some examples or details about why those reasons match his opinion. He also needs a pretty bold opinion. He just said, I like the red dragon. But he could make that even bolder. And so I'm thinking that Otis, if he's going to revise his draft, that's his first entry, but he's going to probably have to get out a new piece of paper. And this is what Otis might write based on what you guys have just shared. And at this point, I would not write this in front of the kids. I can still get this revision idea across without having to write this. So I would have actually prepared this beforehand. I will do a lot of writing in front of kids, but not every lesson requires you to do writing in front of the children, right? Mm-hmm. So the dragon I'd like to have for a pet. I like the red dragon best. He's got that bold opinion. One reason is I think it is beautiful. Another reason is that it is red, and red is my favorite color. It is a lively color. Also, the wings are fancy. The red dragon is the best, not just because it is beautiful, but also because it can fly. I would like the red dragon as a pet. It could fly me to cool places. That ending ties back exactly to what his opinion was. I would like to have the red dragon as a pet. Okay? Now, writers, as you're going off today, and you guys are actually going to do some writing right now, as you go off today, I want you to think of an opinion that you might have. Your opinion might be something like, I like recess duty better than lunch duty, or vice versa. It might be 3rd grade is way better than 4th grade, right? It might be that 4th grade is the best grade in the entire school. It might be, I love to relax on Saturday better than any other day in the whole week. But I want you to take a minute and get out a piece of paper, and I want you to go ahead and start writing about your opinion. Thinking about all the things that strong opinion writers include in their piece. And then I would say, off you go. And they would leave. I'm going to actually give you time to start. And then I would, after 5 or 10 minutes, go around and start conferring with kids about these things that I should see in their work. Okay? So y'all go ahead and start writing about your whatever opinion you have. Could be math is way better than writing. I think we'll wrap up that sentence. And this, of course, was what we would call a micro lesson. So I taught you the lesson, and I gave you a short amount of time to do the writing, but kids would have an extended time, 30 to 45 minutes to write, and then you would go and walk up alongside them and then start coaching in on what it is that they are working on, okay? So that, can you see how long that lesson was so far?
9 minutes. 9 minutes and 45 seconds.
9 minutes.
With all your other pieces that you typed in.
Yes. And I would literally do it that fast with kids by creating so much space. Think time is important. But sometimes we give kids so much time to think that we are creating slow processors.
I think the Kagan kicks in too, though. Remember, because the Kagan, we weren't trying to give everybody a share, so.
But
you
by
need to
having
kinda-
both
right.
partners able to share,
Right.
and if you have Kagan going, you can say, partner A, you're going first.
Right.
Okay, now partner B's turn. And I would make it
Just quick.
super quick, right? And then during the share time of your block, you could have a more extended period of time where partner A was able to share and then partner B, maybe 2 or 3 minutes each. They wouldn't have something to say for 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes each, 1 to 2 minutes. They would have a lot to say. They probably wouldn't have a lot to say about writing for more than that time. So what I'm going to challenge you guys to do now is because we have many people in the room, if a writing teacher would pair up with a teacher who is not either a writing teacher or a writing teacher in your grade, and you are going to have the chance to teach a lesson, not in front of everyone, but just with that partner, from session 14. Okay, and I'm going to give you time to prepare to teach that lesson, and I have some of the materials that you might need. And I want to remind you of how Lucy recommended planning for this. She recommended looking at the teaching point, which in this one starts on page 102. It's about halfway down the page-ish. And then read just the bold pieces, okay? She said it should not take you longer to plan a lesson than it takes to deliver it. Because this is already, this is already done for you. If you were doing this from scratch, it took her 20 years to write these. Let's use what has been vetted for 20 years, right? So she said 5 or 10 minutes. And here's the thing, 5 or 10 minutes is not going to change a kid's life, right? So if you fumble through it a little bit at first, that's okay. Look down, see what great parts of the lesson you need to include, and then you're going to shore up any misconceptions that kids have in a one-on-one or one-on 4 to 5 setting, okay? All right, so you guys are going to have 5 minutes to prepare, starting right now, and then y'all will teach the lesson for 5 minutes, okay? All right, if y'all will partner up and then be ready to go. Whenever you're ready, you can start sharing, but after 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and get going, okay?
Mine.